Hey everybody, welcome back to my coverage of the PogChamps 3 tournament. This is the Rainn Wilson versus Logic match. Logic leads 1-0, but these players are both very evenly matched, so this second game could go either way. Logic does have the white pieces, and let's get right into the game. We have e4 from Logic and d6, the same Pierce defense we've seen Rainn Wilson go for every time he has had black. We have knight f3, g6, and now bishop c4 from Logic. We have knight f6 and not going for this bishop g4 move blunder like we saw Rainn Wilson do against his match versus Tubbo. Once again, this would be a blunder because there is this bishop takes f7 tactic and king takes f7 and knight g5 discovered attack on the bishop. So good thing Rainn did not go for this. He did look at this bishop g4 mistake with a coach, Danny Wrench, afterward. So he plays knight f6 instead, which is definitely a huge improvement. We have knight c3 and now bishop g7, d3, castles, and h3 from Bobby Logic. Now preventing this bishop g4 move. Definitely a very solid start from both players so far. We have b6 from Rainn, looking to get this double fianchetto set up, and castles from Logic. We have bishop b7 and bishop e3 and e6 from Rainn. Still a great start to the opening. Both players are playing fantastically so far. We now have queen d2 from Logic, looking to get this bishop h6 move in and trade off Rainn's fianchettoed bishop, which could be very strong later in the game. So definitely the right plan here. We have now d5 from Rainn, looking to open up the center to make both of his bishops very powerful in the middle game. We have e takes d5, and Bobby saves his bishop with bishop b3. We have rook e8 now and bishop h6. Logic now continuing with this plan of trading off the fianchettoed bishop. Rainn is not about that. He plays bishop h8, saving his bishop. However, when you fianchetto your bishop like this and your opponent wants to try to trade it off with this queen and bishop maneuver, you kind of just have to allow your opponent to trade the bishop, because this just makes your king very weak when you have this bishop restricting the diagonal like this. So it's better to let your opponent trade and just deal with the fact that you'll have these you will be without your bishop. You just have to kind of deal with it. But we have bishop h8 instead. And the game continues with rook f to e1. Both players contesting that e-file now. Definitely the right call. Here we have rook takes e1 from Rainn. Definitely, or probably not the right call. I mean, you don't want to be just trading here, because now after rook takes e1 from Logic, Logic has the e-file basically for free. So this is not something you want to do positionally. If both players have rooks on an open file, you don't want to just trade with your opponent, because then you give them the open file in a lot of cases, including this position. We have c5 from Rainn, and I really like this move by Rainn, striking in the center and just controlling the center. Very good fundamental move. We have queen g5 now from Bobby and knight bd7 just completing development. And here Logic thinks he can win a pawn with the move knight takes d5. And it looks like you can win a pawn here, because you have 1, 2, 3 attackers, and black just blocked their third defender. They only have 1, 2 defenders now. They used to have the third defender with the queen, but they blocked it with the knight. However, this actually loses a piece for white after the sequence knight takes d5, and after bishop takes d5. Now, first you trade queens, removing the defender, queen takes g5, and after you recapture, then you can take this bishop on d5. So will we have this in the game? It's also important to note that you cannot take this knight with the bishop first, because if we have bishop takes d5, for example, now after bishop takes d5, after knight takes d5, you don't have time to remove this defender of the queen, because white can simply play queen takes d5, and white is up a pawn and doing very fantastic here. So it's important to take with the knight first. Will Rainn see this tactic? Yes, he does. He plays knight takes d5, and hopefully he can complete the sequence. Logic takes back bishop takes d5, and now will Logic recapture the bishop or take the queen? He takes the queen, queen takes g5, so Logic will be down a piece here. Here as Logic, you're going to be losing this bishop anyway, so you could go for this desperado tactic with bishop takes f7 check first, and this just gets an extra pawn and exposes the black king. Yeah, it's just better than just losing the bishop outright. This sequence would be. So will Logic go for that? No, he does not. He simply recaptures the queen with knight takes g5. And after bishop takes d5, now Rainn is up a piece. We have rook e7 just trying to attack and get some counterplay while Logic still has pieces on the board, and rook to d8 now defending Rainn's knight. We have c4 kicking the bishop, and here Rainn has a couple options. He can play bishop e6 or bishop f6. Both options are fine moves. He ends up going for bishop e6. And here as white, you should definitely take this bishop and win a pawn. And now you're up 2 pawns, and black is still definitely winning, but you are back in this game. And now we have a game once again. However, Logic does not go for this knight takes e6. Instead, he plays f4. Maybe he saw that he could win a pawn, but he didn't want to trade because he was down a piece. I don't know what it was, but I think knight takes e6 definitely would have been the best try for him here. Now we have bishop f6 from Rainn, and this is another reason why you had to go for this knight takes e6, because now your rook is trapped. So we have rook takes e6 from Logic, and now f takes e6, knight takes e6, and Rainn is up a rook. So let's see how he converts this. We have rook e8 and knight c7 now, attacking the rook. We have rook e1 check and king f2. Rook a1 going after the a pawn, and now a3. Logic saves the a pawn. However, this still drops the b pawn. We have bishop takes b2, and now king g3. Logic just trying to activate his king. We have bishop g7 now, just Rainn just going for more trades, and bishop g5 from Logic. Logic does not want to do any trades right now. We have h6 from Rainn and bishop e7 from Logic. We have rook takes a3 and king g4. Rook takes d3, and now h4 from Logic. And this actually allows a mate in 2 from Rainn, which starts with h5, and after king g5, we have rook g3 checkmate. And this sequence is actually available for a couple moves. However, Rainn does not go for this. He starts with knight f6 check, and even after bishop takes f6, we still have this h5 mating net sequence available. You don't actually need to recapture this bishop, but Rainn does recapture this bishop anyway. We have bishop takes f6, and now f5, and the mating net is no longer there. We have g takes f5 and king takes f5, and here Rainn comes in with a huge blunder. You would not think it would be possible, but Rainn plays rook f3 here, simply hanging the rook. I think he was focused on X-ray defending this bishop here, but he forgot that this pawn covered this f3 square. So in an even more surprising twist, Logic does not take this rook. Yeah, I don't know what Logic was thinking here. Maybe it was the time pressure, or maybe it was just you didn't expect Rainn to blunder a rook like this, so you weren't even paying attention to it. We have king g6, and now Rainn sees that his rook is hanging. He plays rook g3. This does hang the bishop, however. You could have saved both pieces with a move like rook f2, but I guess Rainn didn't see this. He thought the rook was the more important piece, so might as well save the rook. We have rook g3 check, and now king takes f6. So this position is still very winning for black, but just less winning than it was a couple moves ago. We have a5 now and knight e6. a4 from Rainn and king f5. We have a3 just promoting that passed pawn, and now the knight is too far away. So this should be an easy win for Rainn from here on out. We have king f4 and rook takes g2. h5 and now a2, king f5 and a1 equals queen. Maybe Logic will get a stalemate somehow. We have knight f4 and now rook f2, pinning that knight, king e4 getting out of the pin, and queen e1 check. King back to f5, and here the cleanest win is simply queen e3, and you're going to win the knight on the next move. However, we have queen b1 check from Rainn instead. We have king g4 and queen e4. Now the knight is pinned, so you're going to win it on the next move. Here, Logic should have played king to h3, and now if Rainn takes this knight with the queen, this is actually stalemate. So Logic could have swindled a stalemate potentially with this king h3 move. However, instead we have king g3, and now it's just all over for logic, because after queen takes f4, now this is check, and after king h3, Rainn does have this checkmate in one with rook h2. However, he instead goes for queen e3, check, and he goes for the ladder mate. After king g4, we have rook f4, and this is checkmate. So logic takes the second game. We will be going into the second Armageddon match, or Armageddon game of the entire PogChamps tournament. And this is also Rainn's second Armageddon match. So there's only been two matches that have gone to Armageddon, and Rainn has been in both of them. So we'll see who prevails in that third game, the Armageddon match. If you want to check that out, you can check it out on the left side of the screen, and check out my PogChamps 3 playlist up there for more PogChamps 3 recaps. I don't think I have anything else to say, but yeah, pretty good chess all around. Couple missed tactics in this game, but we'll just have to see who wins game 3. Thank you guys for watching. I love you guys. See you in the next video. Peace out.